This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Agun Erev Shabbos. So we have 3 different subjects to cover today. Let's begin with Pirkei Avos. We're learning Pirkei Avos with the commentary of Rabbeinu Yona. And we're up to Perek Aleph, and we're going to learn today Mishnah Yud Aleph. Avtalyon Omer. Avtalyon said, Shmai and Avtalyon received the tradition from Yehuda ben Tabai and Shimon ben Shatach. And Avtalyon said as follows. Avtalyon said, Chachamim hizaru b'devreichem. Sages, be careful with your words. Shema tachoivu choivas galos. Lest you be obligated exile. V'tiglu l'makoy mayim harayim. And you'll be exiled to a place of bad waters. V'yishtu at talmidim abam achreichem. And the students who come after you will drink from those waters. V'yamusu, and they'll die. V'nimtza shem shamayim eschalel. And it will come out that the name of heaven is desecrated. What is this talking about? The rabbis should be careful with the words. They might be obligated to go into exile, and they'll be exiled to a place of bad water. What does that refer to? The 5 towns? I mean, the water here is not great. We have to filter it, and then we have to breed it, and then we have to home filter it. What exactly is this talking about? You might have to go into a place of bad waters, and the students will drink. So, Rabbeinu Yona explains as follows. The Rabbeinu Yona says, "Harambam zal kasav ba'avos b'perushav al derech nachayin." The Rambam writes in Pirkei Avos in his commentary in a very proper way. Hizaru b'devreichem. Be careful in your words. Leva'er devreichem, to explain your words. You don't want to give any room for heretics to veer off. You don't want to say something that could be misinterpreted or twisted or perverted. Because you might have to go into Golos. And you might go into a Golos, into a place of bad waters, where bad waters means Mayim is Torah. Bad waters is a place where they distort the Torah. A place where the minim uncover facets of Torah that are shaloi kahalacha. And they will try to infer and be medayik in your words, incorrect ideas. And the students who come after you will drink. They'll learn your teaching, and they won't understand what you meant, because they'll have this misinterpretation of the students. They'll rely on the erroneous and distorted interpretation of the students who are minim. They'll explain their words based on their ideas. And the people learn from them will think, well, if the rabbi's students interpreted his words this way, then the rabbi must hold this way. And they will die in their sin. And it will be a chil Hashem, that because of your teaching, people were led astray and misinterpreted the Torah, and it caused their demise. Now, what's the chil Hashem? Is a chil Hashem that people will misinterpret what you say and they will attribute wrong Torah and wrong hashkafa to this rabbi? Or is a chil Hashem that through the teaching of the rabbi the students will die? It seems like the latter is a chil Hashem, that the Rebbe caused the demise of the student. Mishnah Yud Beis. Hillel v'Shammai kibul mehem. Hillel and Shammai received the Torah from Shmai and Avtalyon. Hillel Omer, Hillel said, Havei mitamidav shel Aharon. Be from the students of Aaron. Oyev shalom, love peace. V'roidev shalom, pursue peace. Oyev es habrios, love people. Umakarven la Torah, bring them close to the Torah. Love peace, pursue peace. Love people, bring them close to the Torah. Says Rabbeinu Yona, Hillel v'Shamai kibelu mehem from Shmai v'Avtalion. Hillel loimer havei mitalmidav shel Aaron oyev sham v'roidev sham. Ratzah loimer. Interesting, even though the Mishnah only says love peace, Rabbeinu Yona interprets it, sheyehav b'libay ha'emes v'shalom. Love truth and peace. V'yirdoif acharav, run after it. B'payal yadav, actively. You know, there are a lot of people they love things, but they don't do anything about it. Like, you know, in Shidduchim, when people tell you, yeah, they're very machshav Torah. What does machshav Torah mean? Either it's a nice way of saying they're an Osher Muflag, or machshav Torah means they don't learn a word, but they hold Torah is very chashav. You know, because if they actually learned, you wouldn't have to say they're machshav Torah. You'd say they learned Torah. You know, I say it tongue in cheek, but that's what Rabbeinu Yona is saying. There are a lot of people, they love things, but they don't do anything about it. People love peace, but they don't do anything to promote peace. They don't go in the way of peace. Those who do acts, and they make peace between man and his friend, and they love to do the work of peace. Seek it out, run after it. They are the true students of Aaron. So it's not enough to love peace. Yeah, I love peace. Okay, what do you do about it? Me? What do I do about it? I eat lunch and then I go to sleep. No, if you want to be a student of Aaron HaKoyen, loving is not enough. You got to do something about it. Now, Rabbeinu Yona has a very important interpretation of this. Aaron loved people and he brought them close to the Torah. How? How did Aaron bring people close to the Torah? He said, come close to the Torah right now. You're too far. Come close. How did he make people close? The only information the Mishnah gives is Oyev es habrios. He loved people. So the Mishnah is then saying, according to Rabbeinu Yona, the way Aaron brought people close is by loving them. Because when Aaron was margish, that a person did an Avera. Now, how is Aaron margish versus did an Avera? The Arizal could be margish. The Arizal could look at your forehead and tell you, yeah, you came 2 minutes late to Shachris. Now, I have a new thing. You know what it means to come 2 minutes late to Shachris? 2 minutes late to Shachris means when you come 1 minute before Shachris. Because even if you just come 1 minute before Shachris, there's not enough time to actually say all the words. So, Aaron would say, hey, you know, you didn't come on time to Shachris today. Aaron wouldn't say that, but he could tell, he could look at your face. So when Aaron sensed that somebody did an Avera secretly, he would go to him and he would befriend him. He would make him his best friend. The sinner would think, if Aaron would know what's going on in my secret life, in my private thoughts, I don't think he would be befriending me. It's just, I have a chazaka that in his eyes I'm a kosher Jew. Ubal mitzvahs. If he would only know what I'm really thinking, Yisrachik mimeni, he would distance from me. He wouldn't want to befriend a Rasha like me. And this person would begin to regret his evil. He'd have thoughts of tshuva. Aaron's friendship was a major cause and contribution to making the person turn around. About this it says about Aaron. B'shalom uv'mishar halach. He walked in peace and upright. V'rabim heishiv me'avain, and he turned many away from sin. So sometimes the best kiruv approach is to befriend a person. Because the person thinks, why would he be my friend? Let me live up to what he thinks of me. And that's an important idea, that it's not always necessary to let on what you know about someone else, especially you're dealing with children. Rabbi Meir Chadash would say, you know, but you don't need to let them know that you know. Rabbi Meir Chadash would say this is one of the key principles of parenting. You don't need to let the kid know everything you know, because so long as he thinks you don't know, he's going to want to live up to your opinion of him. But once he knows that you have a low opinion of him, he's no motivation to improve himself. Let's do one more Mishnah. Hu haya omer. Hillel would say, Negid Shemei Avad Shema. One who tries to draw his name, spread his name, will lose his name. Udala Moisif Yosef. One who doesn't add to his learning will be gathered in. Udala Yalef. One who doesn't learn, Ketala Chayev. Is Chayev Misa Uda Yishtamish Betaga Chalaf. One who uses the crown of Torah will pass on. Says the Rabbeinu Yona, Hu haya omer negid shemei avad shema ratzalaimer adam amesgaya. One who's arrogant, v'yatsa shmai ba'olam al yidei ga'usa gdulaisai. And he makes a name for himself through his arrogance and his greatness. V'oisol Hashem kishem agdoilam asher ba'aretz. And he wants to make a name like one of the great people in the world, Kineged Hashem Agadol Nimshach Begava. That stands in the face of the great name of God. Kain Ye'avad Shemai Avadon Gadol. His name will be lost greatly. V'lo yizachar v'lo yipaked. It will not be remembered. So it seems like Rabbeinu Yona is saying that arrogance is a direct conflict with God. There's an idea that, like the Ramban writes in the Geras HaRamban, that when a person is haughty, he's stealing the garb of the Almighty. So somebody who tries to magnify himself, that if he's actively competing in his mind with the Creator, and that's a sure recipe for downward spiral. Udala Moisef Yosef. Mishu Chacham, one who is wise. He doesn't want to add to his wisdom. V'yomer b'libai. He says, Kvar lamadati kol Torah kula. I already learned the whole Torah. V'ra'isi drachah nesivaseh. I know the deal. I know the path. Mali l'tzar zez l'zrach behevel yamai. Why do I need to butcher myself to pursue further? I know Gemara Rashi Tosfos. What do you want from me? What should I do now? I'll take it easy. But why should I contemplate it? V'lai havinoisi. Yiratzain shazel ish yamos. This man will die. May it be God's will. Ve'yasaf alama. He will be gathered to his people. V'lama yichya oid. What does he have to live for? Shekvar kam milomai. He's not learning anymore. You know what he's saying? So he said, yeah, I already know, I already learned. Already learned? Okay, God said, okay, it's time, come. You're done? If you're done, we're done with you. You know, they bring in the footnote here from Rabbeinu Yerucham. It that the soul is never satisfied with its spiritual acquisition. So if it is satisfied, then the soul doesn't belong there anymore. And sometimes, a person's in yeshiva, okay, I have a Rebbe, I have a Chashuv Rebbe, I could learn from him, I go to high school, Beis Medrash, Koilel, I have a Chashuv Rav, but now I'm 50, 60, 70 years old. I'm older than my Rav, I'm older than the Rebbe, I know more than him. No, even then a person should say, well, maybe one time I might learn something that I didn't know, and even if I knew it, maybe I'll hear it at a different angle. Their whole life, as Rabbeinu Yona says, Ezehu chacham haloi mikol adam. A wise man, Rabbeinu Yona extends, is somebody who wants wisdom. They're never satisfied with the wisdom that they acquire. Udula yalav k'tal chayv, someone who doesn't learn is chayv misa. Mishaloi lamad kolikar nimshal kabahima. One who doesn't learn at all, he's like an animal. Kilama nivra ba'olam. Why was he created? A person was only created ach lahavin ulhayras, to understand, to teach. But Torah shedracha darchei noyam v'zeh shelo yasik kol yamav. Someone who didn't learn his whole life, v'idenu machzik b'roshasai, and he is maintaining his bad ways. Ein roi lichyos afilu yom echad. He's not fit to live even one day. V'afilu shayachas, even 1 minute. Udi yishtamish b'taga chalaf. One who uses the crown will pass on. Hamaschabi b'kisur shel Torah. One who tries to take honor through the crown of Torah. V'nene b'chvoida. And he is getting benefit from its honor. V'oisa oisa kechli lases v'yitzracham. And he's making it like a vessel to take care of his needs. Harezeh nispeh. He will be erased. Don't make it like a crown to be gloried in, and not like a hatchet to dig with it, not like a hatchet to cut wood. So arrogance is actually a challenge to God. Not that God is challenged by it, but the act is inherently one of challenging the Almighty. One who doesn't constantly look to upgrade and elevate their wisdom and expand it, so there's nothing, what is there to be here for? And one who doesn't learn at all, there's no purpose of existence. And one should not use Torah to advance his own needs. Okay, that's Mishnah Yud Gimel, and this will be the end of the first Shiur.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.